Welcome in to this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly. I'm John Holder. This is your inside look at everything going on with the Alabama High School Athletic Association. Coming up on this week's program, Assistant Director of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Marvin Cho, joins us to talk about the state cross-country meet coming up this weekend. And speaking of the state cross-country meet, we're going to be speaking with one of the coaches and one of the athletes involved with that. Defending Class 7A state champions Auburn High School will be there. The new head coach of the girls team of the Auburn cross country squad is Olivia Tofani. She will join us along with one of her senior runners, Samantha Rogers. Also this week, we'll talk with Mark Jones, Director of Officials with the Alabama High School Athletic Association, about some of the differences in high school football rules from high school to college and pro. And we'll have the WOTM Game of the Week, Play of the Week. It's all coming up on this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly.
Don't crack under the pressure of foundation issues. The certified specialists at Ox Foundation Solutions can permanently fix foundation problems at the best price guaranteed. And did you know, moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. Ox Foundation Solutions has the best plan to keep your home safe. If you are experiencing any issues with your sidewalks, basement, crawl space, or foundation, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. The road to Jordan-Hare starts this Friday on WOTM with live first-round AHSAA playoff coverage featuring the Sylacauga Aggies visiting Death Valley to take on the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Stay with WOTM each Friday for live games every round of the playoffs and on to Jordan-Hare for exclusive TV coverage of the Alabama High School Athletic Association Super 7 only on WOTM.
Back on the AHSAA Weekly. This week we're going to take you to Montgomery to the offices of the Alabama High School Athletic Association. We're going to talk cross country. The state cross country meet is coming up this weekend, and we're going to talk all about that with Marvin Cho of the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Assistant Director and in charge of the state cross country meet. Marvin, this is a huge event. This is over 2,000 runners, correct, that will be descending upon Lawrence County.
Yes, sir. We're excited to take all these runners to Moulton, Alabama again. We've got over 2,100 runners, over 100 schools represented. So we're just excited for this great meet.
I would think of all the state tournaments and state playoff meets and state championship events we have, this one is probably bigger than any. I can't think of any that in one day have over 2,000 high school athletes gathered together in one class, all classifications in one day, as you said, over 100 schools. This is a big event.
It is a great event. It is definitely one of our largest in the state. We're just excited that we have this opportunity for all these kids to run in a great venue at the Oakville Mountains and Jesse Owens Park. And we're just excited that all the schools get to participate, and we're looking forward to a great weekend.
Marvin, this event has been held up in the Lawrence County area just outside of Moulton, as you said, at the Jesse Owens Park there for many years. An outstanding facility. This is a great place to host for the cross-country meet, right?
It is. It's got so much historical presence there. I want to just say thank you to Stan Johnson, the coach at Lawrence County, who hosts us. He does a great job running this event for us, and we're just happy that he's a part of it.
This will begin early in the morning. You were telling me earlier we start about 8:30 in the morning with this, and then you've got runners about every half hour starting races. Is that right?
Yes, sir. We'll start our first race at 8:30 in the morning, and then from there, about every 30 minutes, we'll start a new race alternating between the boys and girls, and we'll get all those kids through by hopefully around lunchtime.
Marvin, folks that are not familiar with cross country, we're talking about a cross country state meet, the state championships. Tell folks exactly the format and what happens at a cross country state championship event.
So basically, at any cross-country race, you have the start. Usually, you've got all the runners lined up. It's an amazing scene to see all those runners lined up across the start line. The starter fires off the gun, and they start running. They kind of filter in through the course. The course is a 5K or 3.1 mile race, and it's just a great scenery through that park, and I think the runners really enjoy running there.
Marvin, we are blessed in Alabama, as we are in all of our sports with the Alabama High School Athletic Association, to have some great schools and some great individual athletes in cross country. There are some great programs and some great student athletes that participate in this sport.
We're very blessed. We've had some of the best runners, we think, in the country, some of the best teams coming out. We've had some incredible times in the past, and we're just looking forward to hopefully breaking some records this weekend.
Well, Marvin, it's always a great event, a huge event up in Northwest Alabama. Thank you for the job that you do with the state cross country meet. I'm sure a lot of folks looking forward to seeing you on Saturday up in Oakville.
Appreciate it, John. Thanks so much for having me.
Marvin Cho, Assistant Director with the Alabama High School Athletic Association, in charge of the state cross country meet. There will be the state championships this weekend up at the Jesse Owens Park in Oakville, Alabama. More of the AHSAA Weekly in just a moment.
Hot under the collar because your basement is full of water? Call a local company you can trust. AHSAA Foundation Solutions. We use the most advanced water management system to stop water from invading your basement for good. Get a free estimate from AHSAA Foundations.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. The road to Jordan-Hare starts this Friday on WOTM with live first-round AHSAA playoff coverage featuring the Sylacauga Aggies visiting Death Valley to take on the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Stay with WOTM each Friday for live games every round of the playoffs and on to Jordan-Hare for exclusive TV coverage of the Alabama High School Athletic Association Super 7 only on WOTM.
What's lurking under your home? Moisture and unsafe air from your crawl space can infiltrate your home, causing health hazards and high utility bills. AHSAA Foundation Solutions will help you with the best plan to keep your home safe. Get a free estimate from AHSAA Foundations.
Back on the AHSAA Weekly, we're going to take you to the Alabama High School Athletic Association offices in Montgomery, and we have a very exciting couple of guests coming up for you from Auburn High School. We're counting down the days to the state cross country meet coming up this weekend, Saturday as a matter of fact, in Oakville up in Northwest Alabama at the Jesse Owens Park. And we have the head cross country coach in her first year at the defending Class 7A state champions, Auburn High School, Olivia Tofani. Also with us, one of her great runners, a senior, Samantha Rogers. Ladies, glad to have you with us this week on the AHSAA Weekly.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Coach, I'm going to begin with you. You've been coaching cross country. You've in the junior high level and so forth there at Auburn, but taking over, and you have a defending state champion team over at Auburn High School. Tell us about this first year of coaching the varsity at Auburn High School.
Yeah, so it has been definitely a change of pace, but I've inherited the best team I could have asked for, and it's been really encouraging to see these girls, definitely during track season, and the way that they've worked really hard, the way that they've kind of grown together as a team. And so to get to step in is definitely humbling, and it's been such an honor to get to see these girls race so competitively. But it has by far been the easiest, most motivated team that I've gotten to coach thus far.
Were there a lot of young ladies coming back from last year's state championship team?
Yes, I think the majority of our team are returners. We have one freshman that's competing this year at state, but we have 5 seniors and then a couple juniors and seniors. So plenty of experience coming on back for the state meet.
Let's talk about, for folks that may not be familiar with cross country, the training for this. I'm sure this is something that goes on year round, particularly though when you get into the fall. This is a fall sport with Alabama High School Athletic Association. Tell us about the training to get ready for particularly a state meet like this.
I mean, the training, like you said, it is year round. These girls are running during indoor and outdoor track season. And then as soon as they finish up with state in the spring, they get right into getting their mileage in for cross-country season. So it has definitely been a challenging season, I know statewide just with the heat, but it has been a year-round effort and definitely one that I think our girls have stepped into confidently coming off of a successful season. And I think with that too, just the pressure and the expectation there, they've definitely stepped up in terms of their motivation and making sure that every practice counts, that whether they're out running distance or on the track, that every workout they're giving their best.
Coach Stefani, you make a good point there about the weather, because something you don't normally deal with late September, early October this year, we were still dealing with 100-degree temperatures. That's not something that you normally deal with this time of year.
Yes, it has been, and it's good to know that it's not something that just we are dealing with in Auburn, that it has been statewide, and it's been a team effort all the way from our athletic department, making sure that we're aware when there are heat advisories, to communicating each day with our kids, making sure that they're drinking tons of water, that they are hydrating, that they're taking care of their bodies once they leave our supervision, that it's not something that can just happen at practice. It does take a lot of effort and a lot of responsibility on the athletes and their families as well. So it's been challenging, but it's also been really encouraging to see the ways that our entire school system is working together to make sure that our athletes are safe and protected as they continue their training.
Samantha, let's talk with you now. You've been doing this for 6 years. This is your 6th year of being in cross country all the way back to the 7th grade. I take it that you must love this sport.
I do love it a lot. It's just something that I'm willing to wake up for and run, and I love the team part of it too. It's just seeing everybody every day and just getting to just be a part of a sport that means team and not just yourself.
And you were in the top 5, I believe, last year in 7A girls. Back for your senior season, you're looking for a state championship. I'm sure not only as a team, but individually you're looking to do very well as well this weekend.
Yes, sir. That's part of my main focus, and just doing everything I can now just to get up to that point and just stay where I am and do my best.
Coach was talking about the heat, and of course we're used to heat and humidity all throughout the summertime in Alabama, but we're not particularly used to it and expecting that all the way into the month of October. Some of the hottest temperatures we had all year came late in the season. What was that like as a runner?
It's been kind of tough just adjusting to it, because usually it doesn't stay this long, but I think it's going to be even better when we get to state, because it's going to be chilly and it's going to make it 10 times better, because we're used to running in the straight heat. But it's really built kind of what we've been running with, and it's just helped us just to stay strong and stay cool.
You go from just about a month ago, it was 101 degrees, and now by the time you start running on Saturday morning, probably up there in Lawrence County, it will be in the 30s out there. So that's quite a change,
yes,
I'm
sir.
sure, for the body to get used to.
It is, definitely, but it's going to make it a lot better.
Well, let's talk about your coach there. She's been in the program, but as far as being the head coach at the varsity level, she's in her first year. Tell us about your coach there, your thoughts on her.
Coach Stefani is a great coach. She's very good with not only just pushing us to what she knows we can do, but just connecting with us as a team and as an individual, and just pulling us aside when she knows we need it. And even if we don't, just to make sure that we know that she's there for us. She's just she has a lot of knowledge on running in general, and not just running, but the little things that go into it, like hydration and stretching and all that. And she's just an amazing coach for our team.
Coach Stefani, tell us about this young lady that you've brought to be with us here tonight on the AHSAA Weekly. What does Samantha Rogers bring to the table as far as the cross-country team at Auburn?
I think the real question is, what does she not bring? She is a phenomenal athlete and just a wonderful teammate. And like I've said, I've gotten to see her run since her freshman year. And knowing her from that point, she has always been a leader. So I think it's easy to look at Samantha and just look at her times and look at what she's able to do on the course. And so it's definitely an honor to get to see what she does every day at practice, just the consistency, her positivity, the way she encourages, especially the younger girls on the team, some of those underclassmen, the way she pours into them and gives them such specific encouragement. It definitely means a lot coming from a multiple state champion, that she pays attention to the other people on her team, and she always ensures that every member of the team is valued, and that is something that you want as a coach and not something that we can necessarily do as coaches, is to foster that environment on the team. So the fact that we have somebody like Samantha, who for 4 years on the high school team and 2 years even as a middle schooler has really developed that on the team, speaks dividends just to her character and just her effort and the way she loves her teammates and loves the sport.
Ladies, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I know it's a busy week, and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule as you count down to the state cross-country meet coming up this weekend. Congratulations on the past success at Auburn High School, and we wish you the best as you go into the state championships this weekend.
Thank you so much.
Coach Olivia Tofani and also Samantha Rogers from Auburn High School getting ready for that state cross-country meet coming up in Northwest Alabama this weekend. More of the AHSAA Weekly in just a moment.
Don't crack under the pressure of foundation issues. The certified specialists at AHSAA Foundation Solutions can permanently fix foundation problems at the best price, guaranteed. If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from AHSAA Foundations.
Use suicide. Don't want to talk about it? You should. Hi, I'm Nick Saban, head football coach at the University of Alabama. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given clear warning signs. By knowing the warning signs associated with suicide and knowing how to help, you could save a life. Visit jasonfoundation.com and start learning how you can make a difference.
From the state of Alabama. And here's what I want you to know: when these 3 players go, not only are they representing Spanish sport in this community, they're representing the state of Alabama in an annual contest that we haven't won in 2 years, since 2016, last time Alabama's won. And this year they're going to travel on December the 14th to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and take on the Mississippi All-Stars. And this game comes down to pride in your state, pride in your team, and when you're selected for this is a huge honor for them to be selected. And so first off, our first player selected will be Carlos Johnson. Our next player selected will be offensive lineman number 72, Lady Wilson. And finally, wide receiver. He'll be wearing number 88 in the game. Yeah, Chris Abel. Great.
This is the AHSAA Weekly. We continue this week as we take you to the offices of the Alabama High School Athletic Association in Montgomery. The Director of Officials for the Alabama High School Athletic Association, Mark Jones, joins us once again on the program this week. Mark, good to have you with us again on the AHSAA Weekly.
Always a pleasure to be with you, John.
Mark, as we head into the playoffs, of course, one of my sayings is, as the teams get smaller, the games get bigger. What I mean by that is, as we have less teams, the bigger the games, the bigger the stakes, and a lot of interest in high school football throughout the year, particularly during playoff time. And as fans go out to the games on Friday nights over these next month or so, counting down to the Super 7, they may not be as sharp on the rules as they think they are, because there are a lot of differences between high school football and the college and pro game. One of the things that we're going to talk about here on the program this week is some of those major differences between high school and, say, college football. So that's where we're going to begin tonight.
Okay, great. One of the most common differences is on automatic first downs. In college, they have an automatic first down on defensive pass interference, where in high school, that rule was changed about 5 years ago to where it's no longer an automatic first down, because they took away the loss of down on the 15-yard penalty on the offense, and they felt like it would be a balance to take away the automatic first down on defensive pass interference. Personally, I'd like to see that rule changed and go back to the automatic first down. We had an overtime game this past week where on 4th down we had a pass interference, and instead of being first and goal, it was 4th down again. So the defensive pass interference penalty it's not fair at certain times of the game, because in the overtime period it's always goal to go. It's not a new set of downs. So that's one instance with an automatic first down, and another instance that a lot of fans and even coaches get confused, and unfortunately some officials from time to time, is on personal fouls and unsportsmanlike conduct. In the college game, those are automatic first downs. In the high school game, they're not an automatic first down. Only if they make the yardage on the line to gain will they be a first down. And then getting back to the pass interference also, it's not a spot foul, it's a 15-yard penalty, and college is either a 15-yard penalty or a spot foul. And another difference is in the end zone in college it would go the 2-yard line, and in high school it would just be half the distance to the goal. And I think one of the ones that fans yell about the most is he was out of the pocket, he was out of the pocket. High school, we don't have an out of the pocket rule. If the referee's opinion is that the quarterback was throwing the ball away to keep from losing yardage and there wasn't a receiver in the area, we can have intentional grounding. And the penalty in high school is an additional 5 yards from where he threw it from and a loss of down. And of course in college you can get outside the tackle box and throw it away as long as it goes beyond the line of scrimmage. So those are two of the most common areas to where fans get confused about different things. I want to talk about a play that we had last week that's very uncommon, that the rule is in the high school and the pro game, but not in the college game. And that's a field goal following a fair catch. Hanley at Central Clay last week, they had that at the end of the half, which is one of the most frequent times that I've seen it used. I've been in games where it has been used. There's just a few seconds left in the half. Hanley was back deep near the goal line, punted the ball. Clay Central Fair called it around the 35-yard line, and they asked to have an awarded fair catch for a free kick. And what that is you're able to line up just like a kickoff, where you're 10 yards apart. They can put the ball on a tee, and if that kick goes between the uprights, it's 3 points in high school and in NFL. They missed the field goal, and so the half ended, but that's a good way to get 3 points because you're 10 yards away, and if you got a really good kicker, and I've seen a lot of good kickers in high school that could kick it through the uprights from the 40-yard line on the other end of the field. So that's something that's very rare, but can be utilized to a team's advantage late in the half, especially at the end of the game. If you're trailing by 1 point, you can fair catch that ball and kick a field goal without all that pressure of the snap and the hold, and easily win a game that way.
One of the winningest coaches in our state's history, Danny Horn, is the head coach at Central Clay County. And Mark, you know him very well. He doesn't miss much, does he?
No, he doesn't. I refereed many of Danny's games over the years, and he's a very good coach. He knows the rules. He knows what's going on. So when he asks you something, he usually knows what he's talking about.
Mark, one more thing before we go. I want to ask you about this because, as you said, we watch so much college football in this state. A lot of folks watch probably more college football than they do pro or high school, so they take that mentality out to the games on Friday night. So one of the big things in college football the last several years has been targeting, but that's not the same in high school football. So tell folks about the differences between the targeting that even exists in high school as opposed to college.
Yes, that is another key difference. targeting exists in high school, and it's very similar to the college rule with the exception of it's not an automatic ejection. If the official feels like it was flagrant, unsportsmanlike, then they're able to eject the player from the game. Otherwise, it's simply a 15-yard penalty for targeting, which is really an extension of the definition of spearing, which is using the helmet, the crown of the helmet on a player. And the spearing rule had always been around, and then it developed into the targeting rule, which gets up above the shoulders. And it doesn't even have to be with the helmet to have targeting. It can be a forearm to the head as well as the helmet. And one thing I hear all the time is helmet-to-helmet contact, and they're not calling anything. Helmet-to-helmet contact is not necessarily a foul. So that is one of the major differences that people get confused on. And in addition to that, too, if they're ejected for that game, there's not a rule that they sit out the first half of the next game. If it happened in the second half of the game, they don't sit out the first half of the next game. We don't have that rule in high school either.
Mark, some great education, great information, as always, from you this week. I've learned a lot. I know our viewers out there around the state have learned a lot, and hopefully they'll be more well-educated about high school rules as they go out to the playoff games over the next several weeks. Mark, thank you for the job that you and all the officials around the state of Alabama, these really some unsung heroes. These guys and ladies do a fantastic job of officiating our high school sports around the state of Alabama, and we thank you for the job that all those men and women and yourself do with the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Well, thank you for acknowledging that, John, and we do appreciate everything that you do for these kids that are participating in high school sports.
Mark Jones, Director of Officials for the Alabama High School Athletic Association, our guest this week here on the AHSAA Weekly. We'll be back in just a moment.
WOTM, your new home for high school sports in Alabama. The road to Jordan-Hare starts this Friday on WOTM with live first-round AHSAA playoff coverage featuring the Sylacauga Aggies visiting Death Valley to take on the Alexandria Valley Cubs. Stay with WOTM each Friday for live games every round of the playoffs and on to Jordan-Hare for exclusive TV coverage of the Alabama High School Athletic Association Super 7 only on WOTM.
Don't crack under the pressure of foundation issues. The certified specialists at AHSAA Foundation Solutions can permanently fix foundation problems at the best price, guaranteed. If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from AHSAA Foundations.
Back on the AHSAA Weekly, time for this week's WOTM Play of the Week from the Game of the Week. Last Thursday night, it was Auburn visiting Crampton Bowl in Montgomery for a game with Park Crossing. Here's the Play of the Week with Tommy Wood and Rick Rhodes.
Journeying down there.
It's a pretty tough assignment, obviously, playing the #1 team, but they've got some talent.
Robinson, pump fake, gonna look deep. Looking down the middle of the field, got a man, catches made, spins away, and off to the races. Here we go. To the near side, that's gonna be Ford outrunning everybody. And Park Crossing is on the board and cuts the lead back to 10 in a hurry. Here with 3:35 left in the third.
Really strange play. They go to the post route and it's double covered, but you're going to watch the two Auburn defenders are really going to run into each other. As you look at it right there, they're going to collide with each other, and as the ball is caught, there's not another Auburn defender in sight, and it's going to go the distance.
Wrapping up this week's edition of the AHSAA Weekly, a big weekend coming up of activities. The first round of the Alabama High School Athletic Association State Football Playoffs coming up Friday night all across the state in every classification. Plus, every classification in cross country will be at the Jesse Owens Park in Oakville for the state cross country meet. We'll see you back here next week.